It's 5 p.m. The party.
Broadcasting around the world.
OurBroadcastLink.com.
This is your number one internet station. The music you love right here, right now.
OurBroadcastLink.com.
It's another live broadcast. Special edition. Now your hosts, Rob and Jerry.
Hey, well, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Whatever it is, it's all good because you guys are here with us and we're here with you. And guess who else is going to be here with us in just a little while? Take a guess.
Eddie Pilarz.
Eddie, how did you know that?
Because it says it right there.
Oh, come on. That's not fair.
I cheated.
Hey, well, welcome, everybody, to another edition of Polkas After Dark. Once again, you know that there was some
snafus, gremlins yesterday.
We hope that we have everything all situated today. So we're keeping our fingers crossed, and let's find out right now as we start some things out here with a band by the name of the X-Tones, and here's one called the Hey Hey Polka. Oh yeah, starting things off a little bit crazy here this afternoon on another Polkas After Dark. We're going to say hello to some folks in the chat room and also people just watching us behind closed doors, as we like to say. We're going to say hello to Mr. Dave Janka, also Mr. Eddie Pilarz. He's here. He's getting all excited and ready to talk with us in just a little while. Also, Helena Garbach, Mr. Musical Mark Swoger from the city of North Tonawanda. Looks like Jeanette Tonsky is back again. She says, hi, guys.
She was bright and early. She was the first one.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Well, at least she's got a Timex that works. Hey, also to Annette Bellis, we're going to say hello to you. I don't know, Annette, if you were aware, but Debbie Augustine was on last night. Deb, a.k.a. Deb. Hey, we got some songs that we're going to be playing by Matt Gregg and the Polka Gents a little bit later. That'll kind of bring it back for you guys. Maybe if you get a chance, send her a text, shoot her a text and say, hey, come on. Let's see, who else do we have here? Karen and Tom Bayak, they are watching us. Also, Marcia Moscato. I don't know if she has her friends over there visiting today, which would be Marlene and Tim. But we will find out, I'm sure. Dan Liskevich and Dave Lisowski. We want to say hello to you guys, Christine and Amanda Halchuk. Let's see, Les and Alice Kapuscinski. Welcome to you guys. We can't wait to see you at the end of this month.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. We're keeping our fingers crossed.
That they come and visit us.
Hey, we started out with a song by the X-Tones, and of course Eddie Pilarz was part of that, a big part of it, because he played not one instrument but two. He literally played the accordion and the bass on the Cordavox side, so that's why you hear a whole bunch of cool runs down there. And we've got a few songs that we're going to be playing like that, but also let's bring up a gentleman here that I had the pleasure of playing with, along with Eddie Pilarz. Here's a band, Big Steve and the Bel Airs. Here's one called the Mary Lou Polka.
I said hello, Mary Lou. Goodbye, heart, sweet Mary Lou. I'm so in love with you. I knew Mary Lou, we'd never part. So hello, Mary Lou. Goodbye, heart. Passed me by one sunny day, flashed those big brown eyes my way, and ooh, I wanted you forevermore. Now I'm not one that gets around, swear my feet stuck to the ground, and though I never did need you before, I said hello, Mary Lou. Goodbye, heart, sweet Mary Lou. I'm so in love with you. I knew Mary Lou, we'd never part. So hello, Mary Lou. Goodbye, heart. I saw your lips, I heard your voice. Believe me, I just had no choice. Wild horses couldn't make me stay away. I thought about a moonlit night, arms around you good and tight. That's all I had to see for me to say, hey, hey, hello, Mary Lou. Goodbye, heart, sweet Mary Lou. I'm so in love with you. I knew Mary Lou, we'd never part. So hello, Mary Lou. Goodbye, heart.
Oh yeah, that's the late Big Steve and the Bel Airs, one called the Mary Lou Polka. Hey Jerry, why don't you give a shout out to some of the people in the chat rooms over at our broadcast link and also in the YouTube channel.
We are going to say good evening to Alice Fischler, Chris Tansky, Donna Zelinsky with Teresa and Sarah, Linda P, and Sousa345, and Tim.
Oh,
and we're going to say hi to Bobby Calvert. He's back with us today. And Scotch and Donnie are Yeah, okay. Scotch and Donna are hanging out with us today.
So you have that same problem I do. It's like
and
we're
Roger
tongue-tied.
Kane is with us over in YouTube land as
Yeah,
well.
in Michigan. Welcome, Roger. We still do not have that song that you're requesting, buddy. We're trying to get a hold of it, but we haven't been able to, so I do apologize to you. Once again, we're going to say hello to some more people that are not in the chat room but are viewing us right now on Facebook, and that is Mr. Bob Suharski, of course, the lovely Gail Vojtovich out in Lancaster, and also, while we're speaking of lovely ladies, how about, let's see here, Jan Dressler. She is here. We are going to say hello to you. And let's go ahead and play another polka for you guys right now. Hey, you know, we interviewed Bobby Calvert not too long ago with the Brass Connection. Had a great interview with him and a great chat session even afterwards. And this is a song that we have always loved, Jerry and I. Here's one called My Sweet Melinda.
Someday I'm going back to see my sweet Melinda. When I see her, I'm just gonna let her know that she's the only girl for me in this whole wide world, and I'll never let my sweet Melinda go. Moja pójdę dziś moją słodką Melinda. Ja nigdy nie zapomnę, że cię tak kocham, że ona jest piękna panienka na tym świecie. Pięknych pieścionek dla ciebie kupiłam. Sweet Melinda, when I see her, I'm just gonna let her know that she's the only girl for me in this whole wide world, and I'll never let my sweet Melinda go. Bo ja pójdę widzieć moją słodką Melinda, ja nigdy nie zapomnę, że cię tak kocham, że ona jest piękna panienka na tym świecie. Oj, piękny pieścionek dla ciebie kupiłam.
Hey, the sound of TBC, the Brass Connection, along with some bacon frying in there because that was on an album. It was not on a CD, or at least to my memory it wasn't anyhow. Hey, if you're just joining us, welcome to another Polkas After Dark. You know who commented on the stick work?
Dave Schenka.
Dave Schenka did? What did he say?
He said, Bobby's stick work on this recording still gives me the goosebumps.
But you know what? I got to admit, Bobby Calvert shared with me, and he did not do the clarinet work for that recording. That was Benny Goodman.
Oh.
Benny Goodman, actually. Sorry about that, Bobby. Okay, Bobby, Benny. Hey, does it really matter? Let's bring
it's
another.
Still awesome.
Let's bring another song up. Hey, featuring two guys that we really love. One of them is no longer with us, and one of them is going to be with us in a couple of weeks. We can't wait for that. Here's another song by the X-Tones featuring Larry and Scrubby on the vocal. A little bit of Our Breakup Polka.
Na tej wodzie łódka płynie, oto nasze rozłączenie, oto nasze rozłączenie. Na tej wodzie oto nasz.
Hey, it looks like Mr. Greg Russo has joined us from the Cohoes, Albany area. Greg, we hope to see you again real soon.
Rozłączmy się, a więc luba, rozłączmy się, lepiej teraz niż spotkać się, lepiej teraz niż spotkać się. A więc luba, rozłączmy się, lepiej teraz niż spotkać się, lepiej teraz niż spotkać się. Hey! Bo po czasie rozmaicie, bo po czasie rozmaicie, ja pojadę, zostawię cię, ja pojadę, zostawię cię. Bo po czasie rozmaicie, ja pojadę, zostawię cię, ja pojadę, zostawię cię. Ja pojadę, świat daleki, ja pojadę, świat daleki i zostaniesz tu na wieki, i zostaniesz tu na wieki. Ja pojadę, świat daleki i zostaniesz tu na wieki, i zostaniesz tu na wieki.
Yeah, that's another classic, one of the great tunes that Larry and Scrubby used to sing live with the Dynatones, but that's a song by the X-Tones that was recorded live at the Randolph Hall. How many of you in Buffalo remember the Randolph Hall? Send up a couple of hearts if you do, or maybe you were out of town and you got a chance to visit over there. They had a lot of great bands that came into town. TBC was one. Let's see, Lush, I think, was one. The G-Notes used to always play over there as well for Mr. Val Bukowski. Yep, we got a bunch of hearts going up there right now. Hey, folks, again, if you're just joining us, welcome. We're going to be talking live pretty soon here with Mr. Eddie Pilarz. Eddie played with the X-Tones, as you heard me say. He played the Cordovox, so he did double duty. He played the accordion, which he had to push a lot, and then also the bass on the left hand of the accordion. And people are asking, hey, who were the other musicians? Can you share that with us? Sure we can. You know, it was Scrubby and Larry, also Eddie, and then on trumpets were the late Sonny Wonderlick and myself, and we had a blast with those. You can hear some of those live songs, and I'm sure that Eddie's going to comment on them very soon, when we used to holler, hey, go to G or go to A. And the one song, go to B flat. And Eddie's playing, and then at the end of the song, he says, now don't ever let it be said that I can't play in B flat. What a fun time we had with that group. That was back, believe it or not, in 1984. Can't believe that. Man, that long ago. We're almost approaching, 40 years? That's crazy. That is insane.
I keep telling you, you're old.
Oh, well, I know that. Hey, how about a tune by Marion Lush and the Musical Stars? Here's one called the Red Beer Polka.
Nosił łączko,
łączko zielona. To będziecie łączko kosiu, jak ja będę szable nosił. Łączko zielona. Maryś kochana. Maryś kochana. To będziecie Maryś kocha, jak ja będę maszerował. Maryś kochana. To będziecie Maryś kocha, jak ja będę maszerował. Maryś kochana.
Hey, a real quick shout out to Sharon and Tommy Golden out there in Depew. Also, Arlene Krasminski is tuned in, along with Maria Pilarz. And it looks like Pat Mazer has joined the crowd.
Piwko czerwone. Piwko czerwone. Te chłopcy, co piwko piją, to długie lata żyją. Piwko czerwone. Te chłopcy, co piwko piją, to długie lata żyją. Piwko czerwone.
With a I do that all the time. That's Marion Lush with the Red Beer Polka. I think I'm going to slide this over to the right a little bit, and then that way I won't miss the cue part. Yeah. Hey, another song by Big Steve and the Bel Airs. Here's one called I'd Like to Polka.
Chciałbym ja, hej, z nią potańczyć. Ona się nie boi, niech się tak zbliży. Poczekaj, luba, będzie załować, jak ja pójdę z inną tańcować. Poczekaj, luba, będzie załować, jak ja pójdę z inną tańcować.
It looks like Ms. Kim Rozak has joined the crowd here too. Good afternoon to you, Kim.
Chciałbym ja je ucałować. Ma buziak czerwony, chciałbym spróbować. Ale nie chcę, więc nie będę dbał. Będę innych dziewcząt całował. Ale nie chcę, więc nie będę dbał. Będę innych dziewcząt całował.
That's the big man, Big Steve, and the Bel Airs Orchestra from Buffalo, New York. We want to say hello, good afternoon to Mr. Bob Gabalski. He's joining us this afternoon on Facebook. And you know what's nice is some of the people will jump in and say hello in the chat room, but a lot of them just like to watch from the sidelines, which is also cool too. Hey, you know, we're going to be getting Eddie Pilarz on the phone in just about 1 minute, so let's play one more song here by the X-Tones. Here's one called Under the Oak Tree Polka.
Daj, że buzi w praniu nikt nie będzie wiedział. Stolone na dole, na samym chlepisku, chciałbym pocałować i nosa po pysku. Chciałbym pocałować i nosa po pysku. Gdzie każda panienka jednego lubiła. Ożenił się stary z młodą chciał uciechy, a ona do niego jak do starych ściechy. A ona do niego jak do starych ściechy.
Hey, some fine polka music dating all the way back, believe it or not, 38 years ago, 1984. To quote it, hey, we've got Wiggs. Wiggs is on here from Michigan. Wiggs and Kathy, we want to say hello to you guys. Also, Don Pilarz, she's here too. Looks like Loretta Curtis Mackle, she has joined us. Welcome, thank you. Also, Judy Grayson. And gosh, we got a great crowd here. And that's probably why you guys are here, is because this guy is here with us, Mr. Eddie Pilarz. Eddie, can you hear me?
Yes, Robin. Good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon to you. Well, good afternoon to you, sir. I am still playing around with some things. I know maybe you guys, you and the family were able to tune in a little bit yesterday. We had a disaster of a day. But as I usually tell Jerry, it's usually Friday the 13th's okay by me. But Saturday the 14th has always been disastrous for me. And well, anyhow, we've got you here live with us, and that's all that matters. How you doing?
Good, very good. And first and foremost, I want to thank you and Jerry for inviting me on.
Oh.
Either you guys ran out of talent to have on the show and really got bored, or you really wanted to talk to somebody that could tell some stories about us in the past.
And you know what? You know what's really funny about that, Eddie? You hit the nail on the head. We have had the honor of interviewing a lot of the band leaders throughout the U.S. and Canada. And oddly enough, we just decided a little while ago, hey, let's bring up some of the side guys, because they're the ones, as you and I talked, we spoke, they're the ones that have the stories that are going to be very, very impactful, I think. So first of all, and you're welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank Marie, please. Also, let's see, Marie, Eddie, and Arlene. Eddie Scotchillas and Donna send their love from Gray, Georgia. They wanted to make sure that we mentioned that. They're watching us on our YouTube channel.
That's great, Tom. Thank you.
And you just did. Hey, so so what I want to do is I want to start out like I traditionally do, Eddie. Let me ask you this. how old were you when you heard your first polka?
Probably 5 or 6 years old.
Really?
I was brought up in a traditionally Polish family.
Okay.
Everybody in my family listened to Stan Yashinsky, Dan Leshnak, whoever was on the air back then. They watched Pick a Polka every Sunday. And I don't want to say I was forced into it, but I had no choice in the matter. But it really turned out to be something that really intrigued me, and I really enjoyed it, even at that young age. And quite honestly, my mother had convinced me, while everybody was outside playing baseball and football and doing whatever, that I should take accordion lessons. And at about the age of 7 or 8 years old, and I decided to go ahead and do it. And I guess you could say the rest is just about history.
Okay, so that answered one of my questions. I know you play bass guitar. I know you play accordion / Cordavox. For those folks that don't know what a Cordavox is, it's an accordion on one side, but it's got the real nice embrace of the bass and the chording on the left-hand side. So you kind of have to focus on two things at one time. You're kind of like a foo, John Formanyak, because he was very instrumental, no pun intended, in doing that kind of stuff too. And you really have to concentrate on what the heck you're doing, unless you're like you, that you've done it for quite a while, and then you don't even have to think about it. But
I think a lot of that came from the fact that before I really got into playing with a band or with an orchestra, I did a lot of solo work. So you have to you're covering yourself on all bases. You got a group of people listening to you. You got to do what you got to do. So you learn to handle both sides of an accordion best you can. Best as your ability will allow you. And it just came naturally after that when we decided to try that with Big Steve and go the route of the Cordavox.
Now, who was the first band that you played with? The very first group?
Well, I kind of had back when I was at Johnson's Music School, which was Johnny Banashek. He had combo lessons, and actually, it's where I met Larry Trojak, Scrubby, and the rest of the boys of what became the Dynatones when they were still the Casinos Orchestra.
Okay.
I don't know if you're familiar with that story.
I am not, and that's one that I want you to head down the road and share with everybody as well.
Okay. As it turned out, as we were taking lessons, this Larry Trojak, Scrubby. Actually, it wasn't Scrubby at the time. It was Larry Trojak. It was Joe Grenda, Whitey Jan Simon, and Richie Walzak had a band called the Buffalo Casinos.
Okay.
And they decided that they were good enough to do some recording. And they somehow talked to Eddie Blasinchik, to cut an album, a 45 at first on Bel Air Records. And Eddie told them, well, that's great, but I already have a Casinos Orchestra on my label. I can't do it with you guys unless you change your name.
Oh, wow.
And that's how the Dynatones became the Dynatones.
Now, wait a second. Hold on a second. So you mean to tell me that the Dynatones name was brought up right in the studio?
Well, shortly before. In order to sign a contract to do a recording, they had to change their name.
Okay.
So Eddie wouldn't even allow them to come and record under that name. That was my understanding, because I still wasn't with the band at the time. Okay. I didn't join until it was officially the Dynatones.
Oh, okay. All right.
And they went ahead and changed the name and brought in Scrubby. Joe Grenda went in a different direction. I think he left Buffalo, but not before he was gracious enough to teach me how to play bass guitar, since the Dynatones needed a new bass player. Richie had left to go in the service, or I believe that's what it was.
Okay.
And they needed a bass player, and I had been pretty good friends with all of them through our music past at the music school. So rather than them hiring somebody who knew what they were doing, they decided to ask me to learn how to play bass real quick and play the next job about 2 weeks later.
Oh,
which
sweet.
I did. And it was pretty exciting for me. It was, my first big break. Until then, I basically had done private weddings and parties and bowling banquets, and actually used Larry Trojak as a part of a duet quite a few times in playing those small little parties. And that's how I really got to know him.
Nice. Now, I go in and out on different topics. My ADD always kicks in, but so you played with the Dynatones, and then where did your career take you after that?
Well, my career after that took me to marriage.
Okay.
And I thought, well, this is time to settle down. You know, you're married, you're going to have a family someday, so you better settle down.
Oh, good. So where did it take you after that?
so unfortunately, that lasted 1 month. We got married in September, and about 4 weeks later, I got a phone call from Tony Kempinski.
Okay.
For those that don't know, Tony Kempinski was the leader of the Dynastics, but back then he was the drummer for Marion Lush and the Musical Stars. Oh. What would be the last version of Marion Lush and the Musical Stars?
Okay.
And he said, "We need a bass player tonight. What are you doing?" I says, "Well, Tony, I'm not doing anything anymore, so I guess I can play. Where are you playing?" He says, "Burlington, Ontario." Oh. Okay. What time and what hall? I don't know. I'll call you back later. And they called me back and said, "Here's where we're playing." Okay, fine. And the rest was history. I played that night, and the next night, I was in awe, first of all, because for the people that aren't aware, that being the last Musical Stars group, I had the honor of not only being a sideman for Marion Lush, which was the biggest dream of my life.
Wow.
I got to play along with Richie Tokarz, Jerry Darlak, and Tony Kempinski. And it's about three of the best musicians I ever met in my life.
Yeah.
And we became very, very good friends for the next 3 years that I played, and had one hell of a time.
Oh, I'll bet.
A lot of the stories I'll never repeat out on the air. But
thank you for that, by the way.
It was an experience, to say the least.
Oh,
it was a definite experience.
Hey, I usually ask somewhere later on if you had a favorite place that you've ever played. Now, you've had the opportunity to play with the Dynatones, with Marion Lush, with Big Steve and the Bellers, which we'll be talking about here shortly, and of course the X-Tones. But do you have a favorite place that you played, something that really sticks into your mind today, Eddie?
Most definitely. We once had I had an opportunity while playing with Marion. I mean, I obviously had a lot of great opportunities to play in some wild places with Marion, but one of the most favorite places I ever played was a venue called Boblo Island.
Oh, where's that at?
Boblo Island was an island located between Detroit and Canada. And you had to take a boat very similar to the Crystal Beach boat, for those that remember way back when.
Yeah.
And you took a ferry boat to this Boblo Island, played your job, and you took a ferry boat back. And my greatest story, I guess one of the biggest reasons that I remembered so much, first of all, it was a huge venue, and that night we played along with Eddie Blazonczyk, the Versatones, ourselves, Lush, the Crew Brothers, and 2 or 3 other bands. Now, mind you, this is in one evening. It started somewhere around 2 in the afternoon and went through 2 in the morning, I believe it was.
Holy smokes.
And and on the way back, we decided to have a little jam session on the ferry, because it was about an hour ride back.
Okay.
And it was the first time I ever saw Eddie Blazonczyk pick up a concertina, live and in person. And we're sitting on the boat, and Eddie got violently seasick.
Oh, he did?
From the boat ride. Yes, he did. But yet he wouldn't stop playing the concertina and jammed all the way back with us, all the way though we landed back in Detroit. But the venue was so fantastic. It was so large. I believe the building has now been converted to some type of housing project or something, if it's still standing. I haven't really followed up on it. But if I had to really know, that was my favorite venue ever.
Wow. Now, what year was that?
No, it would have to be about 72 or 73. Lush was inducted into the Polka Hall of Fame in 72, so it could have been that year.
Okay. All right, great. Now, let's move on, move a little bit forward. At what point did you leave the musical stars and hop in with the Bel Airs?
I would have to say somewhere around the end of 1973, maybe beginning of 74.
Okay.
We just decided, Marion, the travel was getting to be too much of a workout for me. Mm-hmm. I really needed to settle down a little bit and I was having a family or had a family, and really had to do something a little more steady and a little more domicile,
okay.
Like staying home with my kids and family and get a real job. And traveling 40 weeks a year didn't really cut it. I mean, some of the back then, Jerry Darlack did all the booking, and God bless his soul, he was one of the greatest people I ever met, but he could not book a trip in a timely fashion that made everybody happy. We would play weekends where we would play Detroit on Saturday, Erie Polka Days on Detroit on Friday, Erie Polka Days on Saturday night, and Sunday afternoon at noon back in Detroit at Warsaw Park.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a little bit of a challenge.
We put on 100,000 miles a year traveling in a van.
Wow.
5 guys. And that was nothing I could handle anymore after that. So I said, we're going to come back to town. And I had filled in with Steve a few times while I was still with the Dynatones, especially on the Wednesday nights when he was playing at Chopin's. And we were somewhat friendly and whatever. And as soon as he found out I wasn't playing with Marion anymore, he gave me a holler. And I went to a band practice at his mother-in-law's house, as a matter of fact.
Oh.
And lo and behold, I walked in, and who walked in for the practice for the first time as well was Dale Voidilla.
Oh, jeez.
And Dale Voidilla and I grew up across the street from each other.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, we went to the same grammar school. We went to the same high school. Then I won't say we lost track of each other, but I went on the road with Lush and everything else, and I actually didn't pay too much attention to what was happening in Buffalo anymore. So it was kind of a surprise and a great honor to see him back. And we started, I believe, about the same time. And the rest was history from there.
Wow.
As well known.
Now, how many years were you with Big Steve and the Bel Airs?
Honestly, a lot. You tell me.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess about 15 to 20 years, somewhere around there. I know I started in, like I said, it was either 73 or 74. And I think I was there till early 80s.
Okay.
Mid 80s, something like that. Maybe a little longer. But I don't know what year it was. For most people that do know too, I had the pleasure of working with you with 2 orchestras, and that was the first one with Big Steve and the Bel Airs.
Yepper, I remember it well. We had a blast. Steve was just, for those that didn't know Steve, it's a shame. It really is, because, he was just so personable. And I don't know if a lot of people know this. I'm not going to steal your thunder, but Steve gave me my start in the industry that I still withhold dear to my heart 37 years later.
Sure.
It's unbelievable.
I remember well.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. But, okay, so, we got a chance to play. Now, we also did a couple of TV shows together on Polka's Saturday night.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. Mention a little bit about that with the TV show.
Well, it was a very interesting concept. First... it had been a long time since anything was done in the Buffalo area. I think going back to maybe the Pick a Polka shows or anything else.
Yeah, and
it was something that was very different and very exciting. I remember the one we did, the major one that we recorded. I forgot what the hotel was called on Genesee Street, which is now gone.
That was the Executive Hotel.
The Executive, that's what it was. I remember that one.
Yes.
And then that's the one we did with the X-Tones.
Yeah.
But yeah, we the TV shows were something that brought a lot of pride to the Polish people in Buffalo, because it was something that hadn't been done in a long time. And it was a very well done, well put together show.
Yes.
It was done properly.
Yes.
And it was done in a very good manner. So, it was exciting to do. I had done a few TV shows with Lush in Cleveland and whatever. And, they were professional productions. Mm-hmm. And Steve's show came as close as Polkas said, and then it came as close to that as you could ever imagine. So,
yeah, great. Now, then fast forward a little bit more. And let's talk a little bit. Well, who else played with the Bel Airs? Let's find that out.
Well, at the time I was with the band initially, when it first started, it turned out to be myself and Dale Vordilla, okay. Steve, obviously. And I was playing bass with them at that time, so not to confuse anything. I did later move to accordion, but I was playing bass at the time. And at the time, I believe it was Eddie Scutulus on sax and clarinet.
Oh, I've heard of him. I've heard of him. Yeah.
You heard of him too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And a gentleman, a good friend of ours by the name of Jim Swick on drums.
Yeah, Jimmy.
And it progressed from there. Basically, the band stayed basically about the same, except for moving the horn players around a little bit.
Yeah, gotcha.
Eddie left. You came along and played with us for a while. We had Sonny Wonderlick fill in with us for a while.
Yeah.
It was a fun time, and as you well know, we became very good friends in the band.
Yes.
We all got together at everyone's house, especially Stephen Arlene's. I'm sure she's listening and soaking all this in.
And sure she is.
And as you well know, we became very good friends and stayed that way. As a matter of fact, Stephen and Arlene were godparents to my son Derek, so that's how close we had become.
Well, Steve and Arlene were my adopted parents for a little while there back in the early 80s.
I think at one point they were everybody's adopted parents.
Yep, more than likely. That's for certain. Jeez.
And obviously, there was a lot of stories there involved too, with parties at our house and at Steve's house that we can't mention on the air either. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll get a chance to chat about that another time. That's for sure, buddy. Now, also then, the X-Tones, as you mentioned, we were only together for a little bit, and the way that band was formed was because everybody in that band played with the Dynatones at one time or another.
Right, but do you remember how we actually got the name X with the letter X Tones?
No, I do not.
Well, we can thank your guest next week, Mr. Henry Mazurek, for that one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we were sitting one night, and Henry said, "So, what are you guys going to call yourself?" And I don't know if you remember this, but we all said, "Oh, I think we can't come up with anything." And he says, "How about the X-Tones? Since you're all X-Dynatones." And we jokingly said, "Yeah, Henry, go ahead." Except when he called the printer to print up the slingers and the posters for the front window, they printed it as X, the letter X tones.
Okay.
And instead of EX.
Right.
And there we were, the X tones. And as you said, we were around for a little while, but I think we made quite an impression when we were around.
Some fun times that we had were with the Broadway Grill. And as you also mentioned, when we did the TV show tapings at the Executive Hotel, that was a lot of fun.
Right.
But, something that I also wanted to hit home with, did you ever play with other bands besides those four? I mean, I'm sure you filled in with some guys, but did you ever play any long stints with anybody? I'm talking maybe 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, anything like that?
Not quite honestly, no, but I did do a lot of filling in with a lot of local Buffalo bands. I did plenty of gigs with the Valiants back when they were a very popular band.
Ooh, okay.
I some funny stories there too that we won't go into, but I also had the honor and privilege of backing Wanda and Stephanie as most musicians in Buffalo have at one time or another. Yeah. And I did do one job replacing Eddie Kasparovich with the Jumping Jacks at one point. And I also was, thanks to Marion Lush, had the honor of backing up Little Richard more than once.
Oh, wow.
He was a fantastic musician, but he had a personality of his own. You had to love him to know him.
Is that
he was
right?
very, yeah, he was a great guy. I mean, there's a lot of musicians such as yourself that you just become very close and tight with, and you can talk to on an even keel. People like your last guest, Mr. Calvert, of course, who I consider one of the best reed men in the business, and he was always when Henry and I ran TBC, it was always my pleasure to look forward to sitting down and talking to Bobby, because I always admired Bobby. And
here.
And we Richard was very tough in that demeanor. I don't know if it was his ego or what it was, but he didn't really think of himself as on the same level as his sidemen. Mm-hmm. And it kind of irked me. I mean, even all the years I played with Lush treated me like I was a member of the family. I mean, he was fantastic. And the same with Steve. Obviously, you know that as well as I do.
Yeah.
It was always that way. The X-Tones, we were like brothers. But, you always have that one time where somebody just doesn't. I didn't mind that. Actually, it was Lush that had kind of stuck me with the gigs with Richard, because he was running the jobs at St. Peter and Paul, and he would hire us, being Big Steve, and himself and Little Richard, and then he'd just tell Richard, if you need a bass player, Eddie's available. And I don't know if you remember the one night that we played at St. Peter and Paul, I played with all three bands.
Yes.
And and I was a mess who we had
Well,
we don't go there anymore. But,
no.
But like I said, then once we finished up with the X-Tones, I just decided that was it. Maria and I had bought a piece of property and out in the country, and we built a summer home.
Oh, I remember.
And my weekends were just tied up after that. So did I miss it? Yeah, but you know what? I'll always have the memories. There's no doubt about it. I'll always have the memories.
Right. Hey, you know what? And Eddie, we are approaching 6 o'clock. It's about 7 minutes before 6 p.m. I haven't even scratched the surface. Do you mind if I keep you on a little while longer? Because I want to ask you some stuff about, music that you listen to now besides polkas. And also, I definitely want to touch on the Broadway Grill social activity or social athletic club. Yeah.
Sure,
so I want to touch on that too. Okay.
If your listeners can stand me for a few more minutes, I sure would be happy to.
Love to do that. Yes. And the nice part about this is this will be forever embedded into YouTube. So if anybody did miss this or they're tuning in late and they want to catch the whole thing, just like they've done for many other interviews, all you have to do is go to Polkas After Dark on YouTube.com. Just type in Polkas After Dark at the search, and you will be able to type in the word interview after that, after you reach the site. Also, don't forget to click the subscribe button, because we love getting more subscribers. Hey, Eddie, so what kind of music does Eddie Pilarz listen to when he's not listening to polka music?
Well, I'm still a very big fan of the 50s and 60s rock. I actually like Elvis music,
okay.
Which falls in that genre. I can bear some country western music. I really like original, genuine country music, not the country rock of today. I'm not crazy about.
Sure.
But, on weekends, I still pop the radio on or during the week, and I'll still listen to my polkas. But if I'm going back and forth to work, it's mostly 50s and 60s and 80s rock.
Gotcha.
And that's about the focus of my musical genre right now, my scope. So,
who did you idolize growing up, Eddie? Who was your top person that you?
As far as music or
as far as music, yes.
As far as music, I want to say, growing up, the very first person I ever heard playing live, was Marion Lush.
Okay.
And that's why it became so integral to me when I became part of his band. I mean, it was a dream that I had never imagined in my life.
Yeah.
I mean, today it feels like everybody and their brother may have backed him up at one time. But to travel with somebody and learn a lot about him for all the years that I did travel with him, I mean, 3 years is a long time.
Oh, it sure is.
You're talking about 120 weeks of traveling over those 3 years. And, we shared a lot of things. Our first daughter, who did not survive, was born during that period. And Marion was nothing but gracious to me and Anne-Marie. And did everything he could for us during those times. But yeah. I did what I think any of us would have done. I just went right back and played again. What else are you going to do?
Sure.
And I thought the world of the man. I thought that he was a fantastic musician, which he was. I thought he had one of the greatest voices in the world. And to this day, I still do. I really did idolize him. Sure, I thought Eddie Blazonczyk was fantastic and everything else, but to answer your question, I idolized Marion Lush.
Yeah. Now, do you have a favorite band that you never performed with or played with, but you always wanted to?
Well, yeah, probably Lenny Gomulka's Chicago Push. Although I did have the opportunity at Larry Trojak's wedding to do a jam session with them. Okay. Between Larry Trojak, myself, Tony Kempinski, and almost every member of Lenny's orchestra at the time. Wow. And we had a ball. What should have been a 15-minute set turned into an hour jam. Bobby Bobin was there. It was still with the band still alive. Larry and Lenny. And, it was phenomenal. If I ever had a chance to play a full job with Lenny, yeah, I'd love to do something like that. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I would have loved to play a gig with Little Wally. I'm just on bass just to say I played with Little Wally. Yeah. But I think if I had my choice right now, it would be Lenny Gomulka and Chicago Push.
Beautiful. Now, and I know you and Lenny are still good friends to today. Anytime he comes into town and you and Marie are available, you're always front and center and you get a chance to chat. And unfortunately, when those guys travel, you really can't hold their time because they need to get around and talk to some other people as well. So sure, it's not a real captivating thing.
You can't hold them back. Sure, they need to address all their fans.
Hey, Eddie, I always ask this too, and you do not have to divulge it, and especially you don't have to divulge the name of the company. But you mentioned that you have a daytime job. Are you able to share a little bit about what you do?
Well, yeah, as a matter of fact, I have no reason to hide it. I have been employed for the last 40 years by the Gordon companies in Cheektowaga. They were, when I joined the company back in the 70s, they were, actually was about 80, I should say, 80, 81. Mm-hmm. They were known as National Warehouse Sales, and it was a little rinky-dink outfit over on Colvin Boulevard in the city of Buffalo. Yeah. And Dave Gordon, the owner of the business, wholesale merchandise, and they had a little retail storefront. And he was actually a customer of mine, and I wasn't happy where I was with the company I was with before that. So David and I had talked, and we decided to get together and see if we could make a go of it together. And we're now known as Gordon Companies, Inc. Yeah. That little company now does about $35 million a year in business.
Oh, wow.
And his son is now involved very heavily in the business. Dave still does what he did years ago, and I still do what I do. We do a little bit of sales. Mm-hmm. I take care of our accounts receivable department. Do I want to give it up? I'd like to retire. Yeah. But it's kind of funny because one of the people listening to the show, which happens to be my wife, so I want her to listen very carefully.
Okay. Let me bring your volume up. Let me bring your volume up. Hold on a second. Okay, go ahead.
She's not so sure I'm ready for retirement. So
there you go.
So she says she's not sure what I'm going to do with my time if I do retire. So if it really makes her happy, I'm just going to hang around for a couple more months and see what happens, and let time tell whether I'm going to retire in July or August, like I've been thinking about. But
you could do what every other guy does, Eddie, and that is be a pain in the wife's side.
Exactly. Jerry knows a lot about that, right, Jerry?
You got that right. No, but that's good. Hey, let me ask you this, too, because I love asking this question, and you traveled a good bit. Do you have a favorite breakdown story? Now, not mental breakdown story. It's got to be a vehicle breakdown story. Do you have any one that you can share with us, or maybe a couple?
Actually, I have a Marion Lush story that was quite interesting, to say the least. We were playing at a place called the Sacred Heart Club in Pennsylvania. I don't remember exactly the city, but the hall, being from Pennsylvania, you may even know, but the hall is sort of built on a hill. And it's hard for people to imagine, but for those that didn't realize it, when I was playing with Marion, in order for the band to get together, Jerry was from Chicago, Jerry Dowek.
Okay.
Marion Lush was from Chicago. Richie Tokarz was from Indiana. Tony Kempinski was from Detroit, and I was from Buffalo, New York. So getting together for a weekend was not the easiest task in the world. So if we were playing the Ohio area, west of Buffalo or something like that, I would fly into Detroit. From Detroit, Tony and I would drive to Toledo, Ohio, which was about an hour's drive from Toledo, from Detroit.
All right.
We would meet Marion, Richie, and Jerry, who had got together in Chicago,
all right,
at a Holiday Inn there, and move on from there to wherever our job was. So by the time we got in a van with Marion, Richie, and Jerry, we already traveled an hour. We're tired, but we did what we have to do. So one night, they pick us up about 1 o'clock in the morning. Tony and I had a couple cocktails waiting for them, so we weren't the first two eligible drivers by any means. So we get in the van, and there's a gentleman I never saw before in my life. And I looked, and Richie Tokarz wasn't in the van. I says, "Where's Richie?" And I said, "Oh, Richie had something doing this weekend." So nervous, Freddie's playing with us. I says, "Oh, yeah, Freddie, glad to meet you." And I said, "And you're officially?" And he looks at me and he said, "My name is Nervous Freddie Skriveniak." I says, "Okay." And Lush tells me that Freddie had played with him in Chicago many times and backed him up, but he really didn't do much traveling.
Okay.
And he was, instead of Richie playing trumpet, he was going to play clarinet with us that weekend. I said, "That's fantastic." So we made a pit stop maybe 2 or 3 hours after they had picked us up, and Lush said, "Freddie wants to drive, so you guys can still sleep for a while and do whatever you got to do." I said, "Okay, fine." So we took off, and I'm a very light sleeper, but all of a sudden I feel the van jerking and jerking and jerking and jerking, and I wake up and I said, "What's wrong?" And Freddie's driving, and he's telling Lush about a job that he did with Little Wally a couple of weeks before that. And he was demonstrating how Wally was driving. and by doing it, you're traveling with 5 men and all the equipment in a Dodge Maxi van. And he's hitting the gas, hitting the brake on a highway where we're doing 65 miles an hour. And we decided to pull off or take a rest. And as we were getting off, the truck started making some really, really, really weird noises. So we get back on the road. We had a little bit of trouble starting the van. And we get back on the road, and we can't hit over 30, 40 miles an hour. And we still got maybe 4 or 5 hours normal driving time to get to our job.
Ooh.
So we puttered along. We got about 15 miles from the hall, and the van just died. So a trooper pulled over. contacted somebody at the hall. We gave him the information. Lush had the information. Darlak had all the information. We called the hall, and somebody showed up with a horse trailer. He grabbed all our equipment. We thought he was going to just grab the equipment and everything and just take us to the job.
Yeah.
No, he decided he's going to tow the van to the job so we wouldn't have to unload all the equipment, which took another 2 hours.
Oh,
we probably got to the job with 15 minutes to spare. And when we got up on stage, it was a little bit of a mess because everybody was filthy. Nobody had a chance to wash up. We didn't go to a hotel beforehand or anything else. And we actually landed up having to cancel the job the next day because we couldn't get there. And Lush landed up staying in that city for a week while they rebuilt the entire engine in that van. And that was okay. Lush had a lot of friends, so he was able to stay behind and play cards for the week, do whatever he wanted to do. And for the people that didn't know, Lush was a very avid card player. Besides liking horse racing and dog racing, he loved card playing. So,
jeez. Hey, I want to also mention, because I got off track a little bit. Tell us a little bit about the Broadway Grill Social Athletic Club, because were you an officer?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I was president for probably conservatively 7 to 8 years.
Okay, all right. I do remember that when I first moved into town, you were telling us about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I was a member of the club. It was a very, very active club. We tried to keep the membership limited to about 50 people.
Okay.
Just for the sake of having a set number, and it was great. We, as you well remember, our biggest fundraiser for the whole year was the snowball dance every January, and every year the turnout for that thing was fantastic. We normally held it at the Knights of Columbus on Union Road, and we would get in the vicinity of 1,000 to 1,500 people, depending on, it was always held in January, ergo the Snowball Festival.
Wow.
But, we always had to worry about the weather, and I always said, why are we doing this in January when the weather makes it an iffy situation? Well, in the 8 years that I was there, we only had to cancel it once, or postpone it once. But we had one of the greatest groups of members that you could think of. A lot of them were just members of the group that just hung around, did nothing else but hang around at the bar all day long. That was their life.
Yep.
Then we had a lot of musicians that belonged to the group. Offhand, Dale, I remember belonging to the group. Dave Zavava belonged to the group. And a bunch of the other musicians here in Buffalo. And we always had good times. And our fundraisers were always good for they had us through almost the whole year. We had an annual picnic every year for family members. We had an annual stag picnic for the members. And it just was a great bunch of guys.
Yeah.
And Henry and I created a bond between us because of the club. I had known Henry for many, many years. I had listened to his music growing up a little bit. He's a little bit older than I am. And we had listened to his music. I loved the New Yorkers. Johnny Banashik was my accordion teacher at one time.
Yeah, I remember you saying.
And Henry and I then went forward. We had a lot of success with the grill dances, so Henry and I just decided to go forward then and do a couple dances, promoted a couple dances on our own.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the very first dances the club was going to run on their own was with Jimmy Weber and the Sounds. I think this was just post Robin Pegg.
Okay.
And at the moment, we had them booked. I think we had it booked for the Randolph Hall or something like that.
All right.
And we got a call from Jimmy Weber that that the Sounds broke up after he printed the slingers and everything else. So, what do we do next?
Yeah.
So next call was to Frankie Lischka, and had to beg him politely, and Bobby's probably chuckling his butt off right now. And hey, listen, we need a favor, this guy by the name of Jimmy Weber, like you don't know who he is, kind of stiffed us, and we got a dance coming up, and we got the hall, it's good booked, and we got a deposit and everything else. And it all started, we ran the first dance as a club with TBC, and it was a total sellout. We couldn't cram another person into the hall.
Wow.
I think it was from there, the club kind of shied away from other dancers. They sort of thought that the dance that we ran with TBC kind of took away from their Snowball Festival. A lot of us disagreed, but what it was. But Henry and I said, well, we did so well with TBC and whatever, we'd like to continue running the dances. So we talked it over with the club and told them, what we were going to do, and we just didn't want to offend anybody, have any hard feelings.
Sure.
And we went ahead, and I think if Bobby remembers better than I do, but I'd have to guess that we ran TBC at least 2 times a year, along with either the X-Tones, Big Steve, or somebody in Buffalo, for at least 6 or 7 years after that.
I remember playing with the X-Tones when TBC was
Randolph
in town
Hall.
at Randolph. Yeah,
it was Randolph Hall. It was us and the X-Tones. That was one of our earlier jobs. That was when we still didn't decide. And if Tommy Wonderlick should ever be listening, this is not a remark that's to be taken the wrong way, Tommy. But Robin, if you can remember at that point, that was the time we didn't know who was going to show up for a job. Would it be Tommy Wonderlick or Sonny Wonderlick?
Right. I do remember that too. That was funny.
It was always funny.
But we always had a Wonderlick on stage with us, and that's all that mattered.
That's all that mattered. And sometimes it was Tommy, sometimes it was Sonny, but it was funny. It was a good game to play. We didn't know who was going to show up.
Yeah.
But yeah, the girl, the club was, the members were very close. I think even Steve at one time belonged for a while. In fact, I think that Steve, we ran a trip to Montreal one time, and Steve and myself roomed together on the trip to Montreal back when air flights were reasonable and you didn't have to go through security. And we took a group of guys from the Broadway Grill and went on a trip, and we were able to actually carry ham sliced and bread and everything else on the airplane with us for our hotel room.
Wow.
But we were sorry when Henry decided to sell the girl. I won't say things went downhill, but it wasn't the same group of guys anymore. A lot of them stuck around, but when Greg and Tugboat, God bless both their souls, bought the place, it was more of a fun place to just hang around. And by that time, the club was kind of dwindling. The Snowball Festival was becoming a thing of the past. Nobody was really interested much in anymore. Polka music in general was starting a little bit of a downslide back then. So, it was what it was. But definitely great days. We all enjoyed it.
Yeah, hear. Hey, so I'm going to finally ask my final question that if you've listened to any of the interviews in the past, you know exactly what it is. And that is, how much money did you make? No, that's a different. Sorry about that. No. It's
through his whole career, $39 or something like that.
No, here's the scoop. What advice would you give to someone, Eddie, that just wants to start out in music? They could be younger, they could be older, they could be middle-aged, and they maybe want to be a band leader or just a sideman. What advice would Eddie Pilarz give to that person? You sit him down and talk to him.
Well, my gut wants to say don't do it. But my advice is do what you need to do to keep your life separate from your music. Yeah. If I had to do things all over again after for your listeners that don't know, Marie and I have been married now as of September for 50 years.
Oh, God bless you. Congratulations.
And, thank you. And it's solely on Marie, believe me, solely. She's the glue that holds us together. And she went through a lot. And I would tell anybody that wants to get into it, if you have a family, make it a hobby. Don't make it a full-time
profession. Job. Yeah.
You just can't. It's a hobby. If you can do it on the weekends and leave it alone the rest of the week, it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, my days with Steve and the X-Tones were perfect. I mean, it was a family situation that we could bring our kids to the jobs. When I played with the Dynatones, one of the things I wanted to get away from was traveling. Go figure, right after that I joined Lush. Mm-hmm. But, those two scenarios, Steve and the X-Tones, were more of a family situation. As you know, Larry was already engaged to be married at the time. I think Sonny was just about married when we had the X-Tones and everything else. So, it was still family-like, and it was the same with Steve. So it's tough, but that's what I would tell everybody. And I got to tell you that I am so excited for you and Jerry. The show that you guys are doing is fantastic. I mean, some of the interviews that you've done have been thoroughly phenomenal. Not like the one you did today.
No. But, believe me, this one will also go in the books as well. And
I loved listening to Mr. Calvert, who, like I said, I adore. And I heard those earlier ones that you did with a lot of the band leaders. And like you said, I think you really hit the nail on the head. What you really need to do for a while is talk to all the sidemen that made everybody, along the way. So,
well, Henry Mazurek is joining us next week. We've got, let's see, what's that guy that's living in Georgia now?
I think his name is Eddie Skachillis.
Eddie Skachillis. Yeah, he's going to be joining us. Yeah.
Didn't you and I have something to do with him too at one time?
I thought we did, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah, we did. Good old Eddie. I miss Eddie. I see his sister quite often, but I haven't run into him, and I do miss Eddie. He was a great guy. He's a terrific guy. Him and Donna were, in fact, as we well know, Donna's father passed away not too long ago, Frank, and he's a great guy. So,
what a great man. And we've got a bunch of other interviews that are on the back burner that are going to be scheduled up and coming. But hopefully we will get a chance to see. I don't know if you're going to be attending the Buffalo Polka Booster Picnic or not, but hopefully, Eddie, our paths will cross again. I got to say this, and I mean this sincerely. I love you. I love you like a brother. You have meant a lot to me over the years, and we've had a lot of fun together. And
for sure,
COVID kind of destroyed a lot of get-togethers, but you know what? It doesn't destroy the friendships.
That's exactly true. I mean, everybody was able. I know you and I stayed in contact quite a bit during the COVID.
Yep.
And we haven't. Every once in a while, I think about giving you a call and I get distracted or something else, but never do you fail to remember. So I appreciate that.
Yeah. Well,
and I once again, I do appreciate you having me on the show. It's been a great honor. I mean, Mr. Calvert enthralled me last week, or a week before, but. I'm sure Mr. Mazurek will do a great job for you next week.
Oh, I'm sure he will too, and hopefully we don't get taken off the air after that broadcast.
Maybe I will give him a call this week and ask him to leave his vocabulary book.
Why don't you coach him, or maybe have him? You know how they have those words and then the definitions next to him. Well, maybe he could just use the definition and not the words.
That's fantastic.
It's going to be a lot of fun, as it was today, Eddie. Thank you so much once again. We love you.
Thank you for having me again. You too, Jerry. I appreciate it.
Can't wait to see you and Marie at some function along the way.
All right, Robin. Thank you again. And Jerry too.
We're going to play a song right now by Big Steve and the Bel Airs. Here's one called the Pia Cuba Polka.
Jakub do Michała, wiwat wy, kompania cała. A kto nie wypije, tego we dwa kije. Rupu cukru pod kozuchu, niech po polsku żyje. A kto nie wypije, tego we dwa kije. Rupu cukru pod kozuchu, niech po polsku żyje. ma. Dziś sienkarka lub kucharka chodzi jak dama. Żona wstań żyje, tego wedła kije. Upu, cupu, cupu, upu, niech po polsku żyje. Żona wstań żyje, tego wedła kije. Upu, cupu, cupu, upu, niech po polsku żyje.
A little bit of Pia Cuba, Doya Cuba, Yakubidomi Hawaii, or whatever that is. I don't sing very well, as everybody kind of knows. Hey, that was Big Steve and the Bel Airs, and we are so excited and fortunate that we had Mr. Eddie Pilarz on with us this evening. I hear somebody cutting the grass.
I know.
In the
They were all done. I'm like, I'm going to
Yeah.
open the door again because it was
We have
getting
too
warm.
many neighbors. We need to move out in the sticks or something.
We are in the sticks.
Well,
All by ourselves on a mountaintop, maybe?
yeah, that might work. Okay.
We wouldn't have internet then.
Oh, you got a point there. A satellite dish. We could do that. Maybe that.
Maybe.
I don't know. Hey, folks, if you're just joining us, you missed one whale of an interview with Mr. Eddie Pilarz. He just joined us from Cheektowaga, Depew area, and we want to thank him so much. And we also want to thank the family for sharing him with us this evening, because we did take him away for about 45 minutes. We also want to thank you guys for sticking around here. Hey, we've got a little more than a half an hour to go. It is 6:23 p.m. Eastern time here, and we have, let's bring up a waltz. We haven't done a waltz. Here's a tune by the X-Tones featuring Larry and Scrubby, one called In the Fields Waltz.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Scrubby. For Mr. Zhenka. Hey, we want to say hello right now to Mr. Fred Gordon. He's just joined us. Also, Mary Lou Czerniak out there in Minnesota. Barb Bukowski. Barb and Al are tuned in. Also, Mr. Mark Wozniak. Good evening.
Na środku pola rośnie topola. Powiedzcie mi, moja miła, czy będziesz moja? Powiedzcie mi, moja miła, czy będziesz moja? Jak będę twoje, choć rączkę dam i ten wianek z rozmarniu, co w ogródku mam. I ten wianek z rozmarniu, co w ogródku mam. Dam ja ci go dam, mój najmilejszy. Pomoże ci na włodarzu, w kościele nam żyć. Koło dzieci na ołtarzu w kościele nam żył. Tam będą grać i ładnie śpiewać, ale młodzi zasmuceni będziemy ślub brać. A my młodzi zasmuceni będziemy ślub brać.
Two fantastic voices in one band. Actually, they played for another band earlier, the Dynatones, and then we stole them when we created the X-Tones. And I didn't know this, Jerry, but Eddie had alluded to the fact that Hank Mazurek, who we are interviewing next week, he's the one that came up with the band, the X-Tones, but they originally wanted X to be EX Tones, and the printer just did an X by itself, and that's how it stuck. And Eddie, I didn't know that either, so that's kind of fun. Hey, we have something that we want to make mention to everybody right now, and that is going to be the upcoming 52nd annual
Buffalo Polka Booster Picnic. I was just looking at it going, wow, that's really like right around the corner. It is Sunday, July 24th, 2022 from 2 to 7 p.m. at Fontana's Picnic Grove, 2299 Clinton Street in Buffalo, New York. Music will be provided by the newest, greatest band from Buffalo, and that is Seven. Food served from 3 to 6 p.m. Hamburgers, hot dogs, polo sausage, and salads. Bring your own pitcher for beer. They have this nice little beer truck that they set up, and you just go up there and help yourself to beer so you don't have to worry about anybody cutting you off.
Yeah. You make several trips up there, I know.
I do, but I do buy the cup. I don't usually, I bring a big
good.
cup, and I don't do it by the pitcher. If I did it by the pitcher, I'd be falling over.
It reminds me of days that I used to play with Big Steve over in North Tonawanda at the MVETS post. Gino Ashufka used to run a dance out there quite often, and I used to get pictures of Bloody Marys, and with a straw, with like two straws hooked together, and that was my drink of the evening. Never had two. That was my drink.
You didn't need to.
I didn't need to. I was skinny back then. Jeez.
I'd probably knock you over.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. So again, Buffalo's newest and hottest band, Seven, is going to be performing there.
Food served. Sorry for the tangent, guys. They're going to have food so you can drink all the beer at the little beer truck. Food served from 3 to 6 p.m. Hamburgers, hot dogs, Polish sausage, and salads. Yes. Bring your own pitcher for beer. No BYOB. Water and pop will also be available. One price for everything. Members, $20 in advance until June 22nd, and then it's $25 at the door regardless of who you are. Children up to the age of 12 is free when accompanied by an adult. Advance tickets are highly recommended. Tickets will be available. It says in April, but it's now May, so I don't think I should say that.
They're available whenever the ladies get a call. Yeah.
And there are no refunds on the tickets.
No.
For more information,
they can call either Bob or Kurt, right? No. Who is it?
Chris Tansky.
Okay, I thought it was Bob and Kurt, but it's Chris and Barb.
Yes, that's it. Okay. So you can call Chris Tansky at 716-771-1076 or Barb Morose at 716-668-2694. Once again, Chris's number is 716-771-1076.
Talk slower. I can't write that fast. Okay, what is Chris's? 716. Okay, go ahead.
771.
Go ahead.
1076.
1076. And then how about Barb? What's
Barb's
her number?
is 716.
Okay, so 716. Go
668.
ahead. 668.
2694. 2694.
Hey, folks, we do hope that you join everybody.
We will be there.
Yeah, we will be there. We're not everybody.
We're
somebody, but we're not everybody.
And we will be there celebrating our anniversary.
Yes, we will. Hey, we also want to tell you something about a dance that's going to be happening at the end of this month. We want to tell you about the USPA 53rd Annual Festival and Convention.
May 26th through the 29th, 4 days of polka music, and that is Memorial Day weekend, of course.
Hey, there's food concessions available daily, special drink prices throughout the weekend. Daily admission is $20 Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but you can save money with a 3-day pass. That's only $51.
Thursday, May 26th in the Lounge, music from 9 to 1 a.m. by Jimmy K and the All-Stars, and that is a free event.
Friday, May the 27th, doors open at 6 p.m. The Lounge, there's music from 8 p.m. until 12 a.m. by New Generation, and in the ballroom, 7 p.m. to 1 a.m., it's The Beat and the Dinah vs. Sticktonaires.
Dinah vs. Sticktonaires, Dinah vs. Sticktonaires, that's the name of the band.
Hey.
On Saturday, May 28th, it's the 46th Annual Polka Music Awards Banquet. Reservations are required. In the ballroom at 10 a.m., music provided by Polish Freight and Music Company. There will be a lounge party, music from 12 until 3 p.m. with the Polski Chicks.
And in the Lounge, music starts at 8 p.m. until midnight with the Tri-City Drive. The Ballroom, music from 2 p.m. to 2 a.m. Wow, that's 12 continuous hours of music. The Maestro's Men, the New Brass Express, the Boys, and the Polish Connection.
On Sunday, May 29th at 10 a.m. is the USPA Annual Meeting Election of Officers. That is a members-only event. At 11 a.m., there's going to be a polka mass with John Gura and Gulale.
Music from 1 p.m. to 1 a.m. There's that 12 hours again. The polka country musicians, Dinah Brass, Polka Family, and John Gura and Gurale.
Rooms are available at the Holiday Inn, Cleveland South, 6001 Rockside Road, Independence, Ohio, 44131. And you can call 216-524-8050 for reservations, and there is a special room rate.
What's the rate?
It is $96 per night.
Call the Holiday Inn once again at
216-524-8050.
Hey, don't forget, you can also purchase a 3-day pass for $51 per pass for all 3 days. Otherwise, you're going to be paying $20 per day, so that's a savings of $9 per pass.
And you do have to get those in advance. They will not be sold at the door. Also, while we're mentioning it, the 46th Annual USPA Polka Music Awards Banquet. Tickets are available for that, and they are only $28 per person. Cash bar, no refunds.
Hey folks, we are going to see you at the USPA 53rd Annual Festival and Convention, May 26th through the 29th. And yes, you will. Hey, don't forget, the band schedule is subject to change. We also talked to Blender Bob, and he said drinks are also subject to change. You know, you might start out with wine, go to beer, do some shots, some other stuff too. But keeping in mind that bands are subject to change just like anything else. And let's see here. What else did we want to make mention? Oh, you know, how about the Young Songwriters Award that's going to be at the IPA this year?
Well, hello again, everyone. This is Stephen Kaminsky from the International Polka Association, the IPA. And who knows, if you join the IPA too, you could one day be a talking animated spokesman like me. Anyway, we are pleased to announce the 3rd annual IPA Young Songwriters Competition. We are looking for the next hit polka or waltz, either a vocal or instrumental. If you could write it, we definitely want to hear it. If you are between the ages of 16 and 39, as of the July 1st deadline, you are eligible. Compose your song in any polka style, Polish, German, Slovenian, you name it. Record a simple demo so we can get the gist of the tune. It doesn't need to be professionally produced. Your song will be judged only on the quality of the songwriting itself. Oh, and you'll need to write out a lead sheet that shows the melody, chords, and lyrics, but feel free to get help from a teacher or other music professional for that part if you need it. Go to the IPA website and find the Young Songwriter page and submission form. There you can attach your lead sheet and an MP3 file of your demo. The deadline for submissions is July 1st, so who knows, maybe your song will be this year's winner. And here's the good part. This year, the first place winner will receive $1,000, and the second place winner will get $100. The winner will be announced during the IPA Festival this September. So get writing those polkas or waltzes. We want to hear them. Best of luck.
Yeah, I wanted to write a song, but I'm too old. They won't let me do it.
Make plans now to attend the 54th Annual International Polka Association's Convention and Festival, Labor Day weekend, September 2nd through the 4th, at the Pittsburgh Cranberry Hilton Doubletree Hotel in Cranberry Township, Pennsylvania. Enjoy 3 fun-filled days, including a welcome party, the prestigious Hall of Fame and Music Awards banquet, pool parties, election of officers and directors, performances by Hall of Famers, and polka entertainment featuring some of the nation's top polka bands, featuring Lenny Gomulka and Chicago Push, the Dynabrass, the Buffalo Concertina All-Stars, the Jack Taddy Band, the IPA Tribute Band, Michael Costa and the Beat, Klansnick and Friends, John Gura and Gurale, the Polka Country Musicians, New Generation, 7, the Boys, Cosmics, and the New Tone. Get all the details on room reservations and more by visiting the IPA online on Facebook and at IPAPolkas.com. Don't miss the 54th Annual International Polka Association's Convention and Festival, Labor Day weekend, September 2nd through the 4th, at the Pittsburgh Cranberry Hilton Doubletree Hotel in Cranberry Township, Pennsylvania. Get all the details at IPAPolkas.com.
Hey, Mark, why don't you tell them a little bit about the kickoff dance?
Labor Day weekend brings another annual IPA convention and festival, and Thursday, September 1st is the kickoff of the big weekend with Western Pennsylvania's hottest polka band, the Mon Valley Push. 7 p.m. at the Cranberry Elks Lodge, Cranberry Township, Pennsylvania. A cash bar will be available for your favorite beverages, so no BYOB. For tickets, table reservations, and details, contact Chris Bogdan at 412-260-9725. That's 412-260-9725, or email Chris at bogdanfamily.com. That's Chris at BOGDON family.com. Don't miss the 54th Annual IPA Convention Kickoff Party with the Mon Valley Push. 7 p.m. on Thursday, September the 1st at the Cranberry Elks Lodge, 20720 Route 19, Cranberry Township, Pennsylvania. For tickets, table reservations, and details, contact Chris Bogdan at 412-260-9725.
Let's get this party started. Get out there on the floor. Take a chance and have a dance. You'll yell and scream for more.
Hi, polka fans. Mike Costa here to tell you about an upcoming event you don't want to miss. Pukoyashu presents New Year's Eve Polka Extravaganza. 3 bands, 2 nights, all at one fantastic location, which is the Embassy Suites at Independence, Ohio. Saturday night, New Year's Eve, dinner dance. Music by polka country musicians and the Beat. Dinner starts at 5:30 with dancing from 7 to 1 a.m. Sunday, New Year's Day, featuring the music of Polka Family and the Beat. Music from 2 to 8 p.m. A 2-day package price is only $140 per person, or $125 for just New Year's Eve and $25 for New Year's Day. Embassy Suite room rates for the weekend start at $119 per night. For all the amazing extras, details, and reservations, please see the flyer at Mike Pikowski's or Jeff Yash's Facebook page. Or you can call Mike at 908-209-9843 or Jeff Yash at 518-281-1587. Folks, this is the New Year's Eve event you have been waiting for. You don't want to miss it. Deadline to reserve is October 15th.
The other way, and I'd have never been aware, but as it is, I'll dream of her tonight.
Hey, how about a brand new tune off of that brand new release, which is All In, and that is from the guys in the Dynabrass.
Powietrze mi dasz, daj mi buziaczka, serca jeszcze raz. Madziu, Madziu, powietrze mi dasz, daj mi buziaczka, kochała całować. Gdy cię spotkałem w remisie na zabawie, od razu zagadałem, by rozwiązać prawie. Tepło poskoczyło, ciało zalało, na myśliwnej głowie przewizo się stało. Madziu, Madziu, powietrze mi dasz, daj mi buziaczka, serca jeszcze raz. Madziu, Madziu, powietrze mi dasz,
Hey, good evening to Mike and Darlene Real out there in the real world. Hope we see you guys at the USPA, or if not the IPA this year, one of the two. And you guys are probably going to head out to Frankenmuth, Michigan for the Summer Music Fest too. Hey, that's a brand new one off of the Dyna Brass release, and it's one called Maju Maju, and that's off of the All In CD. Hey, when you see the guys, make sure that you let them know that you love the CD, purchase the CD, and you can also take a look on Facebook because they have it available for purchase on Facebook too. Hey, we also want to say hello to Mr. Matt Lewandowski and his lovely wife, Sandy. You know, Matt's got a recording coming out in June, and here's the title cut off of that recording. Here's one called Hooked on Polka Music.
Drug of choice, and I know I'll never quit. I'm hooked on polka music, and I might as well admit I crave it several times a day. I never get too much. I feel good when I hear it, so I use it as a crutch. I thought about my habit, and I've yet to find a fault. The price is right, you can't OD, and it ain't against the law. Anything you love this much, I guess, could be a sin. So just in case, I turn to chapter 7 now and then. I wake up every morning and hear my radio come to life with music from the favorite polka show. I know that I'm addicted now, but it's the path I choose. I'm hooked on polka music, it's the only drug I use. Go where other habits meet and congregate. We share my drugs with others with whom I can relate. We might party all day long for 3 days, maybe 4. Be strung out Monday morning, when it's back to work we go. I wake up every morning and hear my radio come to life with music from the favorite polka show. I know that I'm addicted now, but it's the path I choose. I'm hooked on polka music, it's the only drug I use. Today there are some dealers that will change the recipe, but I still like it better back the way it used to be. If that old style I grew up with should ever be outgrown, a few of us old-timers could still make it on our own. I
Mr. Matt Lewandowski entertaining you here on a Polkas After Dark, the Sunday evening edition. As the sun starts to go down, it probably won't go down till about 9 because I've got to get out there and finish cutting the grass in the backyard. Got a brand new lawnmower thanks to our son. No thanks to our son. Ended up wanting to go out and spend just a couple hundred, and we might as well have made a down payment on a Porsche, for God's sakes. But thank you, Eric.
But it's
that
battery operated.
Yep, it's nice. It's battery operated.
And I can start it.
Yeah, and you can push it because it's
someday
self-propel.
I may just surprise you and cut the grass.
Really?
Maybe.
Well, that's going to be difficult because, if I get home and see that the grass is cut, I work from home, so that's going to be difficult. Just try to get it out of the garage. Hey,
I was trying to be cute. Fail.
You're always cute. No, you're always cute.
Aww.
Hey, you know what else is cute? We are going to be able to see these guys at the Buffalo Polka Booster Picnic. That's coming up July the 24th. Is that a Tuesday or a Wednesday? I can't remember. July 24th. Saturday? Sunday?
Sunday.
You sure it's not on a Tuesday or Wednesday?
Sunday.
July 24th is on a Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
How did they do that? It's amazing. Wow, something called a calendar. Hey, but if you haven't gotten your tickets yet, you got to make sure you get them, and you got to get them quick because they are selling very, very well. But of course, for $20, you get, let's see, food, your drinks, and this band right here, they're called Seven. Here's one called Be My Girl Polka. Hello to Nick Blaharski. Also, Larry Kutas is joining us.
Hej Zosiu, moja Zosiu, nie będę ciebie prosił, żebyś moja była, na rączkę bym cię nosił. Żebyś moja była, na rączkę bym cię nosił. Na rączkę bym cię nosił i ładnie odcałował. Spijże moja miła, oj będę pola orał. Spijże moja miła, oj będę pola orał.
Hey, that's the band called Seven. You're going to hear them performing live over at the Buffalo Polka Booster Picnic coming up July the 24th. Hey, did you see the comment that Mr. Mike Reel just wrote?
Yeah, that
on Facebook?
Darlene cuts the grass.
You see? See, he's got her trained. That's what it is.
You've got me trained too. I sit here
Darlene,
every
don't
day.
hit me. Darlene, don't hit me,
weekends.
please. Yeah, for everybody in the real world, also to Michael if he's tuned in, and Missy. But we've got some more polka tunes coming up. You know what? We are approaching the 7 o'clock hour. I talked to Jerry. She's going to make some dinner, and I'm going to stick around with you guys maybe for another, 15 minutes past 7. So let's hang out together, shall we? And let's go with one more tune by the Dynatones from way, way back. I think Mr. Skachillis is on this one, and it's one that was written by Whitey Rignetz. We're going to send it out to Dave Janka and all our listeners abroad, which is out of Buffalo. That's what I call abroad anyhow. Outside of Buffalo, New York, we thank you guys very much for tuning in. And ladies, here's one called the Happy Go Strange Polka. Hey, that's a song written by Whitey Rignetz. The Dynatones did it in the 70s. Here's a 2020 version. Here's the... I was going to say here's the beat because they're the next ones up, but here's the project for you guys. Off the First and 10 recording. Doesn't that water feel good?
It does.
Really.
Very.
Hey, for Joe Wondolowski, he's got that polka celebration show going on. That's one by The Project, also called Happy Goes Strange. Let's bring up the beat off of their brand new CD. It's one called The Beat Goes On. We're going to send it out to Linda Petrzeski, all the way out there in Niagara Falls. Once again, saying hello to Nicholas Blaharski. He's here. It looks like Ken Nowoski is also here with us. Gosh, everybody's piling in here at the last minute. Also, once again, say hi to Arlene Krasminski if she's still watching and tuned in. Congratulations to your grandkids. It looks like they're doing a whole bunch of stuff with all kind of awards, and that is just fantastic, Arlene. And we hope to get a chance to see you at some point in time. Maybe the when is that Polka Booster picnic coming up?
It is July 24th.
Is that a Thursday or a Friday?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. Thursday or Friday. Now let's shoot for Sunday afternoon. Hey, here's the beat. Off of the Greatest Hits CD, that's the brand new one. Thank God they didn't name it the Biggest Hits CD. They said Biggest Hits CD. Now what's your thought, please?
Find someone who'd understand me just the way that you do. But I was young, too young to recognize I'd found the love of my life when I found you. And so as time went on, we had traveled different roads to our destinations now so far apart. There will always be the memory of your love that will beat forever deep inside my heart. The beat goes on and on and on. The beat goes on for you. The beat goes on and on and on. The beat goes on for you. Sometimes I think about the road not taken, and if choices I had made were right for me. But no regrets will read my epitaph in life, for what was meant to be will always be. And when I think of you, I'm so glad to know you're happy, 'cause your life is filled with all the love you made. But there'll always be a special place in my heart that will beat a song for you and never fade. The beat goes on and on and on. The beat goes on for you. The beat goes on and on and on. The beat goes on for you. Everybody sing it. The beat goes on and on and on. The beat goes on for you. The beat goes on and on and on. The beat goes on for you.
How about a little bit of TBC? Davey Voiju, David Walter on the vocal. Here's one called The Mushroom Polka. Hey, like I said, we're going to stick around for another maybe 10-15 minutes or so.
Bandzia, bandzia, szuka grzybi, płotkuj Stasiu, nie ma czas. Bandzia, bandzia, prędko, prędko, bo Staś przyjdzie tu do nas. Grzyby, grzyby, gdzie są grzyby? Nie wiem jak wyglądają. Grzyby, grzyby, gdzie są grzyby? Myślę sobie tutaj są. co gotujesz, nie krzak grzybi, bo jest nam. Co ty myśli, że ja głupi, nie wyziędą kwiatki są. Bandzia, szuka grzybi, bo twój Stasiu nie ma czas. Bandzia, prędko, choć tak przyjdzie tu do nas.
Hey, speak of the polka country musicians, they're going to be over at the USPA, the IPA, and just about every place you're going to be this year for summer. Here's one called the Merry-Go-Round Polka, Mr. Wally Dombrowski on the vocal. Oh yeah, that is the sound of PCM Polka Country musicians. And guys, if you are just joining us, well, you're about 2 hours too late because we're almost done. We're sticking around maybe for another 15 minutes or so as I make some more adjustments to these screens. But we are fortunate enough to have with us sound today because yesterday...
Thank you for showing up.
Yeah, because yesterday we had some serious audio problems, but we were able to figure it out, changed a couple of cables, and ta-da, it works again. Amazing how those $6 cables, when they fall apart, they're just useless, and you got to buy the $20 cables, but they work fine. Yeah. Hey, who's on next week? Let's see. Henry Mazurek joins us next week for the interview, so you want to make sure that you are here front and center for that. And also, once again, we want to thank everybody for tuning us in today. We've got about 6 minutes past the hour of 7 p.m. right here on A Polkas After Dark. Don't forget to catch us next week, Saturday. We are here live every Saturday and Sunday, if in the Lord willing, or if we don't have a party or something to go to, like the USPA coming up. That'll take up a whole weekend. The Buffalo Polka Booster Picnic. When is that again? That's July
24th.
24th. That's a Sunday, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we'll be there. So there's no broadcast that day, no interview that day. Then we got the IPA coming up. That's a Labor Day weekend. We're not going to be broadcasting like we did last year. We did a Thursday evening stint, but I think we're just going to go out and relax and have a good time. People are asking, are you guys going to take the trailer out this year? Yeah, we're going to take it, that's for sure. We modified it a little bit. We've now got our USPA decals on, our IPA decals on, and we took those two old people off of the...
the bald guy.
Yeah, the bald guy and the... well, the lady was cute, but the bald guy with the glasses, we removed those pictures. Chris Tansky says, why are you going to keep those pictures? Well, we have to get some different pictures for that, so we will at some point. We can send them out and make sure that we get the new pictures on. Can't guarantee it for USPA, but we're going to try our best. And let's see, how about we do a song by The Boys? And here is one called Little Miss Blue Eyes.
All the other girls I've met, sweet little Miss Blue Eyes, none sweeter to me, she really ought to be, sweet little Miss Blue Eyes. Little Miss Blue Eyes look so good, I'm gonna cruise my neighborhood, I'm gonna make every girl in town jealous when she's around. I'm glad that she's mine and I'm walking the line. I'm living in paradise. I know I can't go wrong by singing along with sweet little Miss Blue Eyes. To forget of all the other girls I've met, sweet little Miss Blue Eyes, none sweeter to me, she really ought to be, sweet little Miss Blue Eyes. Little Miss Blue Eyes look so good, I'm gonna cruise my neighborhood, I'm gonna make every girl in town jealous when she's around. I'm glad that she's mine and I'm walking the line. I'm living in paradise. I know I can't go wrong by singing along with sweet little Miss Blue Eyes.
And we're going to say hi to Steve Novak, also to John and Marge Subcheck down in the Villages. That's The Boys, and that's one called Little Miss Blue Eyes.
Oh, how I miss you. Wish I could kiss you, hug you, hold you. It would be bliss to look in your eyes, see they mesmerize me, leave me with nothing to fear. When I see that you're beside me, the whole world disappears. I wanna be your one and only, wanna share your hopes and fears, cares and laughs and all your dreams, everything that's in between. If you let me be the one, oh how I miss you, wish I could kiss you, hold you, it would be bliss to look in your eyes, see, they mesmerize me, leave me with nothing to fear. Well, I knew that when I saw you, that we would always be. And it's true that I still love you, with everything you hear and see. Feel no, how could you leave? I'm not a fool, but I believe fairy tales happen sometime. Oh, how I miss you, wish I could kiss you, and hug you, hold you. It would be bliss to look in your eyes, see, they mesmerize me, leave me with nothing to fear. Oh, how I miss you, wish I could kiss you, and hug you, hold you. It would be bliss to look in your eyes, see, they mesmerize me, leave me with nothing to fear. Oh, how I miss you, wish I could kiss you, and hug you, hold you. It would be bliss to look in your eyes, see, they mesmerize me, leave me with nothing to fear. Oh, how I miss you, wish I could kiss you, hug you, hold you. It would be bliss to look in your eyes, see, they mesmerize me, leave me with nothing to fear.
Hey, alrighty, that's one by Eddie Blazonczyk Jr. and the Versatones. Oh, how I miss you. Hey, this guy's
I
going
miss
to...
you too.
Aw, that's so sweet, but I'm right here.
I know.
Like every single day, every minute of the day. Well, except for when you're at work. But I'm here every day
But
while
you're
I'm
here
at work.
anyway.
Yeah. Hey, we want to say hi once again to Les and Alice Kapusinski out in Canada, over in Canada. And it looks like we are going to be able to see them finally. Yay. We're keeping our fingers crossed. They're keeping our fingers crossed. We're going to do one of those home tests before we leave.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
For the weekend. And we always carry hand sanitizer with us in our pockets, in our cars, in the house. We're going to have the big pump at the hotel and all kind of cool stuff. So, yeah, we are ready. We are ready. We'll have a couple of masks just in case we need them for something. You never know.
If we happen to get the big C again, I will say it's worth it, just like I did for Dingus Day.
Yeah. You know, we were both vaxxed and boosted, and we still got COVID, but, you know, it's... we were fortunate enough to get to the doctor real quick. We'll call them. The doc says, hey, I'm going to send you 2 things each. And she sent them right over, and bam, I mean, it really hit it good and quick. And we were extremely fortunate. Hey, Bev Ceremet is here, finally. What took you so long, Bev? Either that or she's been watching. She's just
popping in to say hey.
Just popping in to say hey. But Les and Alice, you know, Les always sends us photographs of a bunch of people. Unfortunately, the people that we have been interviewing, I don't know if he's had very many pictures. And I'm sure, though, once we get into some other folks throughout the course of the year. Hey, guys... you also heard us mention, and maybe I should have mentioned this a while ago, and we're now at 16 minutes past the hour of 7 p.m. I mean, this time's just going so quick. But we do want to let you know that we have something very special that we are planning. We're going to start recording this coming Memorial Day. We have a bunch of people that we are going to start to record, and we are going to call it a walk through polka heaven.
It's going to be so cool.
Yeah, and that is going to take place in October. It's going to be a multi-part series, so we want you to please stay tuned for more information on that. We also talked to someone, which we are extremely excited about. We're in the talking stages right now, but it looks like it may happen. It's probably going to happen. And we are going to be simulcasting from Polkas After Dark, and also on another major network, which is going to be really cool. And it's called A Walk Through Polka Heaven. And we are going to be talking with various folks, family members of musicians that are no longer with us. And I think it's going to be great because, well, first of all, Jerry thought of it. And second of all...
So it's going to be great.
So it's going to be great. And second of all, I think what's going to happen is the people that we talk to, some are going to be video, some are going to be just, the voice recording. But it's going to be nice because they're going to share some really happy stories with us, some really happy, fun, touching stories. And I think it's going to be really cool. So you heard it here first, so nobody can steal that off of us. But we are going to have a lot of fun recording it over the next several months. And again, we're going to be talking with family members of past musicians, some great musicians that are up there. And it's going to be called A Walk Through Polka Heaven. And just, we're excited about it because, again, we're in talking stages, but it is looking 85% that not only will we be broadcasting live on Facebook, YouTube, and, of course, our broadcast link with a C, but we're also going to be simulcast on a major network, and we cannot wait for that. Right, Jer?
I can't wait.
Yeah.
It was a great idea. I'm glad I had it.
Yeah, that's good. See, behind every great man, there is a woman. And, yep.
An even better woman?
Well, now you're sitting next to me, so you're not behind me anymore. You're not in front of me. It's just walk beside me and be my friend.
I am your friend.
Isn't that cute?
Isn't that cute?
How touching. Okay,
Yeah,
well, before
okay,
everybody pukes, let's go ahead and bring up a song by the New Yorkers. Here's one called Hello, Dolly Polka. And Mr. Henry Mazurek joins us next week from the New Yorkers, saxophone extraordinaire, saxist extraordinaire, and also he was the former owner of the Broadway Grill.
Halo, lalka, jak się masz, lalka? Cieszę się, że wróciłaś do mnie. Jesteś liczna, lalka, my to wiemy, lalka. Jesteś młoda, jesteś piękna, jesteś samotna w głowie mi się kręci jak muzyka, gra moją starą, ulubioną piosenkę. Dajcie je ręki, bracia, dajcie twoje serce, bracia, lalko moja, nie odpuszczaj nas.
Hey, that is called Hello, Dolly Polka. We're going to have fun with Henry Mazurek next week. I got to make sure that Eddie Pilarz does give him a call and, gets that little list of things together.
Things you can and cannot say.
Things you can and cannot say on YouTube. and Facebook and our broadcast link, which if you guys are having an issue with a Facebook stream, because sometimes it does go fast and slow, I think what it does is it's a buffering issue. So when you get a chance, just flip on over to the YouTube or our broadcast link site, because our broadcast link also is using the feed from YouTube. And keeping in mind that all of the interviews are available on YouTube, all you have to do is go to youtube.com, go into the search and type in Polkas After Dark. Once you do that, then you'll bring that up, and then you just type in the word interview. And what that'll do is that will allow you to see all the different interviews. And we're fortunate enough to have some really great people and some really awesome talent that has come on, and we're going to continue that as well. Hey, we got enough time for about, 3 more songs. Here's Jimmy K, who you guys will be able to hear the Thursday evening. It's a free dance, free admission over at the USPA at the Lounge. Here's one called Don't Wanna Be Your Friend, polka off of the 50th anniversary recording.
Dance we played that night. You made the music seem to sound so right. We said goodbye as the night came to an end. You said it's great to have a friend. I don't want to be your friend no more. I'd love to love you till the end, no less. Please let me wear the smile I wear no more. Just make me happy, please say yes. Saturdays you're at the polka dance. I'm hoping friendship might soon turn romance. The night flies by and comes to such a quick end. I drive home knowing we're just friends. I don't want to be your friend no more. I'd love to love you till the end, no less. Please let me wear the smile I wear no more. Just make me happy, please say yes. I don't want to be your friend no more. I'd love to love you till the end, no less. Please let me wear the smile I wear no more. Just make me happy, please say yes.
Hey folks, once again, thanks ever so much for tuning us in. If you've been listening in your car,
thanks for the ride.
Hey, you're tuned to Polkas After Dark, our broadcast link, Facebook and YouTube. We'll see you guys next Saturday. One more song, please. Can we do that, Jerry?
Just one.
Okay, just one.
That's just one.
That's all right. Hey, here's the sounds, Jimmy Weber and Company. Here's one called Please Come Back, Polka. Have yourself a great week, folks. We love you and stay safe.
See you soon.
Broken hearted, lonely, sad and blue are the only words I can think of since I lost you. If I had my way, you'd be back in my arms again. Then all this misery and loneliness would surely end. Please come back and let me hold you in my arms once more. Forget the past and let's see what the future holds in store. I loved you from the start and I know you love me too. So please come back to me and let me make your dreams come true. Gone by since you went. I keep hoping that a card or letter will be sent. If I had my way, she'd be back in my arms. start, and I know you love me too. So please come back to me and let me make your dreams come true.